at no point is it not human.
Okay.
You know.
When is it alive?
Okay, so like what I like to tell people, if you found this on planet Mars, the whole scientific community would say, we have found life on Mars because it fits these set criteria. And I don't have those completely memorized, but we learn in biology, you know, if it is growing, if it's dividing cells, if it's reproducing, you know, if it responds to stimulus is another one. If it fits all these scientific criteria for life, it is biologically alive.
When is it sentient?
Sentient. It grows into that. And you are actually much more sentient than you were as a
I know,
toddler.
but mice are less sentient than us. So are insects, at least in our view, and we kill them all the time for
Because they're not human. Exactly. I'm not trying to extend the issue to animals.
No,
Some
I'm
people do,
asking
but I'm
you
not.
to give me when is their sentience that of a human as opposed to that of
Well,
a
they're
mouse
always
or
human,
an-
remember?
Yes,
And they're always alive.
biologically they're always human.
Yes.
When is their sentience level that of an infant human as opposed
Of
to
an
that
infant
of a mouse?
human. Well, like I was saying, Peter Singer says there's really little difference. Say you have a child like this child. This is going to be born in an hour. It didn't suddenly, boom, become more sentient in an hour. So he's saying, because it's deeply sentient, we should kill them on the table as infants. So sentience, no. So sentience is something that we only grow into, and it's arbitrary from person to person. I don't know if you've met anyone with a delayed development.
Yeah.
They've grown into their sentience slower than you have, but that doesn't make them less of a person. See, bioethics doesn't recognize
No,
sentience.
but
as
sentience also requires being self-aware. And babies are self-aware. They're babies.
in the
They
degree
have
that they're able to. Yes.
Yes, in the degree that they're able to. Cells dividing, we do not consider as sentient. Bacteria, we do not consider as sentient creatures.
Okay.
We don't consider mice as sentient creatures, actually. The only things we consider as sentient are humans and chimps and higher order
and I
animals like
will
that.
leave it at that.
So
We don't abort them at that stage. We abort them, you know, wherever that little placard goes. We abort them when they're no longer a blob of cells. We can abort them at the
But how do
non-stage.
just you're arguing that they're sentient?
No, not completely sentient.
No, you're arguing that they're sentient in the term that an infant can be sentient.
To the extent that they can be sentient, they are sentient.
Is a mouse not sentient to the extent that it can be sentient?
Exactly. And I'm not arguing that. That's just not human. I don't know why you bring up a mouse because we're not talking mouse rights. We're only talking human rights. I'm saying we don't.
I'm trying to clarify.
Okay. I'm just.
It's not okay to. I'm trying to clarify. It's not okay to abort them because they are as sentient as they can be.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
That's one of the reasons. It's not the only reason.
I'm saying that it is not okay to abort them because they're human and they're alive, and because sentience, though a nice add-on, is something that grows at varying stages for different people. So a 7-year-old may actually have a disability that makes him less sentient than a 2-year-old, but you don't kill a
Sentience is
7-year-old.
not intelligence. Sentience is
self-awareness.
self-awareness.
Exactly. And it's not a criterion for person. We don't
That's
treat
where
it
we differ.
So you believe it is one. Okay, so is that a feeling or is that a scientifically based thing? Because a bunch of people a couple hundred years ago got together and said, it's not sentience, it's skin color. Your skin color, if it's too dark, if your ethnic origin is from Africa, you're actually half a person. And that's scientifically based because that's a physical thing about people. And they said, there's our bioethical argument. Those people are half people, therefore we can own them and treat them in a way. They don't have rights to life and choices of their own body. So all you've done is you've given me sentience as this arbitrary thing that, and I'm sure other people agree with you, but you've just kind of thought up, and it's a standard that the child will never be able to fulfill to
It's
your
an
life.
argument as to when actual human life starts.
I mean personhood, because
Yes,
human life
when
begins.
personhood begins,
Exactly.
as to when sentience
Yes, and I agree,
begins.
and it is an argument, but so is the argument that people with black skin aren't persons. You know what I mean? It's just an argument, and it may be something that you feel very strongly, but it's not as inclusive as saying that all human life, regardless of age, regardless of skin color, regardless of ethnic origin, is accepted into the human community, deserving of full rights to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. You see what I'm saying? So, though it may be my opinion against yours, I'm just asking you to honestly consider which is the more inclusive view. to exclude people based on their sentience, there you have soldiers who went brain dead and for who knows how long, because sometimes they come back. You exclude those who are mentally disabled. You exclude a significant portion of the human community from
Disabled is not sentient.
a brain dead soldier, say, who suffered an injury in the war and is no longer sentient. He's a vegetable. He's on a machine. He, according to your criterion for personhood, because he's still human and he's still alive, he doesn't meet your criterion for personhood, and therefore he doesn't have rights, and other people can choose what they want to do with him. And that doesn't make sense, and we don't live our country that way. So I'm asking the country to be consistent, and even if they're not sentient,
We do live our country that way, for the record.
we kill soldiers who are brain dead.
We give people rights over their family members when their family members can no longer make decisions to whether to pull the plug or not.
Do you think that's a morally inclusive and tolerant perspective?
I think I would probably never do it, but
It's not tolerant, is it? Now, yeah. And I'm not saying that your argument isn't an argument. I'm just saying it's not as inclusive as this is. The acceptance of all humanity. Does that make sense?
that makes sense.
And there are those who say,
I'm only 10 years old.
I agree with what you're saying, and my view is much more exclusive, and they say, I'm okay with that. The question is, can you go around day by day saying, I am okay with a morality system that gives rights to certain humans based on their mental capacities and their development over those who are less mentally capable? Like, can you live with that day by day as the moral, responsible high ground? You know?
You're drawing a comparison that I don't think is valid. Because there is some argument as to when personhood begins, when sentience actually is established. There is some argument as to when someone can actually be considered a person as opposed to just alive. Okay. I don't see that having that distinction is the same as saying someone who is mentally handicapped is less of a person.
Why don't you see that connection?
Because someone who is mentally handicapped is still a person. They've grown,
But you've only given me a circular argument. You said this person, though they are not sentient, is a person because they are
Sentience
a
is not
person.
mental disability does not denote sentience.
No, sentience and mental awareness are kind of synonymous. They mean the same thing.
No,
I'm using
no, they
sentience. Okay, self-awareness. You said. Let's use self-awareness. Okay.
Self-awareness.
Someone
You
who
can
is
be perfectly self-aware and still be mentally handicapped.
Okay, I'm not broad brushing all mental handicaps. I'm saying
Well, that's
people
kinda
who
what
are
it
not.
sounds
Okay, sorry.
So.
So I'm talking about people who are or are not self-aware. And according to what you told me, self-awareness is the criteria for whether or not a human life is a person. And I'm saying that excludes a large portion of the human race, because not all of us have been fortunate enough to be self-aware.
And I'm
And that's-
arguing that it doesn't.
Okay, give me your argument.
I thought I already did.
You just said it's because they're persons, but that was a circular argument. You said, no, someone who's not self-aware, on a hospital bed, isn't not a person because, well, they're a person, and you're just assuming the thing you're trying to prove.
God is my strength, God is my strength, God is my strength.